welcome back to another Models by Me. This time we'll be looking at an Airfix vintage classic, the Fokker DR1 and Bristol F2B as a part of their 1099 doubles range. It's better to say dogfight doubles, but somebody put €10 and 99 cents on top. No, I didn't get this from Europe. I don't know why there's a Euro sticker there. Anyway. We will do this in the usual manner of starting with a history of both planes before continuing with the outside of the box, then the contents, then the instructions, and then the sprues, with my final thoughts at the end. So, double kit, double whammy when it comes to the history of it. So let's start with the Bristol F2 fighter, which I'll dub as the Biff going forward, purely because Biff was actually one of the nicknames it had during the war. So it started life back in 1916 before finally being retired in the 1930s. So not too bad. The Biff was intended to be a new aerial recon and artillery spotter to replace the pre-war BE-2 planes. I do have one of those kits. I can't remember where I left it. I think it might be in storage at the moment. Anyway, it's developed around the 120 horsepower inline engine. However, before the prototypes could even be built for this engine, the Rolls-Royce developed a new 190 horsepower engine, the Falcon. This led to the Biff changing its operational use to a two-seater fighter. The Biff was armed with the usual armament of the day, a single forward-firing Vickers gun firing through the propeller, and a rear-facing Lewis gun on a scarf ring. This was later upgraded to a twin mount. However, the additional weight made it harder to use at the high altitudes. The first action of the Biff was on the 5th of April 1917, where a patrol of 6 Biffs, flying escort for the British offence of Arras, ran into 5 Albatros D3s from the Asia 11, led by none other than Manfred von Richthofen. Pilots soon realised that the Bristol fighter was actually a strong and agile aircraft, comparable to the smaller single-seat fighters. Being flown in this way, it proved highly successful as it could fly like a normal single-seat fighter, and if the enemy flew past you or tried to get on the Biff's tail, it soon encountered the nasty sting of the observer's machine gun. Yeah, quite I say vicious little thing, but no, the Biff is actually quite big. On to the DR1. When we talk about the air war during the First World War, no other plane instantly comes to mind than the famous red Fokker DR1. DR1 was actually in response to the Sprues triplane that actually came first. A highly manoeuvrable plane with an exceptional rate of climb and outstanding agility. Why wouldn't the Germans want something similar? Hence, the Fokker DR1. Equipped with 2 forward-firing machine guns, which is greater than many other planes flown by the British and French pilots. Richthofen was one of the first to take this plane to the skies. He actually reported it was actually superior to the Sprues triplane. Compared to other German planes like the Albatrosses and the, I can't pronounce that, Faust fighters, I'll put it in the thing at the bottom. The DR1 offered exceptional manoeuvrability, but was actually slower in level flight and in the dive compared to Allied fighters. But it did have one of the biggest weaknesses of the DR1, was its construction. Many had wing failures, An investigation was actually set up to look into this because it was happening too frequently. It turned out the wooden spars for the wings was not constructed or varnished properly to protect them from the moisture. So the moisture would actually seep into the wood, and under pressure, many of the wings ended up just shattering, causing several planes just to crash. This actually happened to the Red Baron's brother, Lothar von Richthofen, after his wing failed, his upper wing actually failed during a dogfight against camels and biffs. Sadly, none of these planes survive intact today. The last one was destroyed during an Allied bombing mission during World War II. Back to the kits, however, the B-2F Biff was first tooled up in 1957 and has never seen an update, other than new boxes and new decals. The Fokker DR1 is the same, first produced all the way back in 1957, and has seen many reboxings, normally with the Red Baron's colour scheme. However, in 1987, as part of the Airfix's Aces range, they re-released this kit as Werner Voss's green camouflage version, before reverting back to Richthofen's plane in 2001. Small side tangent. I know Edward's good at not avoiding Richthofen's plane. They do actually do his now and again. But there's so many. If you look at the different colour schemes for the Fokker Triplane, there are so many to choose from. Can we please stop having the Red Baron constantly? If you have liked this, if you got this far, please hit a like, subscribe, and we'll continue on with the unboxing. So, starting with the outside of the box, we have a classic artwork of the Red Baron ×2. Yes, he was that inventive. He came up with the teleporter. Now, so we've got two Fokker triplanes. One looks like it's been shot down, another one shooting down a biff. Well, at the same time, potentially another biff being shot down there. Whereas potentially bombers hiding back here being shot at with flak. So, you know what you're going to be in for when you take on one of these planes. Also, just to point out the Bristol F2B's unusual landing gear configuration. The lower wing is technically a lower wing. It's not connected to the fuselage whatsoever. Ooh, interesting. Down the side here we have warning, not suitable for children under 36, small bits of plastic, please retain instructions. So everyone need to clog up your house, in which case you've got to bin them. Decals by cartograph, ooh, they're going to be good. Hornby, barcode if you want to scan it. Not free side onions. Side of the box, vintage classic, Airfix front box art again, 72nd scale. The side is all... Why did they do that? That'd be why. Airfix vintage classic, the Roy Cross artwork from 1965. Old tools 1957, okie dokie. Bit of history on the planes. So this is a bit of an irony. September 1918 was the Bristol fighter. Richthofen's triplane, March 1918. Richthofen's death, April 1918. Yeah. If you know it, if not, it's two classic aircraft from the First World War. Paints you're going to need, not that many. Especially if you're doing him. One flying hour if you do that. Skill level 2, which will be a 3 under my ratings. We'll see about that. And that is literally the same as that one. And the inside, cardboard box. Contents. Let's have a look at the inside. We have a baggie with the Bristol fighter in it. We have a baggie with the whole 2 sprues. This thing took up 2 sprues for the Fokker Triplane. We have another baggie for not the clear plastic. Well, it's clear plastic, but it's not. It's flying stands. I haven't seen these for donkey's years. In fact, it even has like the original Airfix logo there. Wow. Nostalgia. Instructions in typical A4, typical Airfix style, which is A3 bits of paper. This one's stapled together and folded in thirds. Decals. For the Royal Flying Corps, Bristol F2B. Very nice. The writing is eligible, but I can't see it at this angle other than the lovely scribe work of Bristol. Very nice, very nice. What to say down there? What's that Bristol again? Bristol. Shaky camera so it's not helping. Stop shaking. Can't read it. After all of that. And just the Knight's Cross for the Fokker DR1 425-17. Very nice decals otherwise. So let's have a look at the instructions. This shouldn't take too long. So, bit of history about the planes at the top here. Bottom right corner, all the various things that we need to know. So, stage number, glue, don't glue, symmetrical assembly. Ooh, I've never actually seen that one to my knowledge. Alternate parts, definitely won't have that in this kit. Multiple decals, clear plastic, don't need that. Weight, don't need that. File away. Well, you need to file away the stuff anyway, but don't need that. Drill, pretty certain don't need that. Cut and paint number. Because I think these are literally taken straight from the original instructions, don't need that either. And you'll see that as soon as I look at the F2B, where you normally paint the interior of the cockpit. But we have half a jelly baby, times 2. So, we can do the jelly baby test later. Anyway, right, so first off, glue. You can't say do not glue, and then do not glue, and then do not glue. Yeah, glue with a slash, do not glue. Glue the machine gun onto, that's not a scuffering. Scarfing. Okay, just glue. It's a 57 kit. Let's move on. Machine gun onto the mount, and then apparently do not glue, but glue it anyway. Spoilers. Glue that into the sides of the fuselage. Glue the pilots in, well, pilot and observer. Glue the 2 sides of the fuselage together. Horizontal stabilizers on, and then I think that's the exhaust. This would you then glue the exhaust. I suppose it's just to get the right angle. Next, stage 2. Glue the lower wing on and all the struts. Do not do that. Or if you are going to do that, do it immediately by stage 3. So glue, what I suggest, glue the lower wing on first to the fuselage. Do not touch any of the struts. Let that dry. Once that is dry, glue the struts in. And how I tend to do it is start at, say, the port side here. Make sure these two are lined up. Go to this bit. Make sure those two are lined up in the holes under here. Go to this bit and this bit, and then just go, start here and go up. One of my pet hates with biplanes, which is also another reason why I like them. But I hate them because it's ugh. Anyway, glue the front cowling on. Oh, that's interesting. How? Okay, glue the front cowling on. If you want a spinny propeller, glue the peg. Don't glue it to the propeller, but glue it. Put a bit of glue in the hole in the cowling here, and then push it all the way through the propeller and into the cowling. If, like me, you don't care for spinny propeller, glue that to that to that. Done, sorted. Stage 4. Undercarriage. In true classic style, we have just a plain old rod at the bottom here. What I tend to find is the best here is to glue the landing gear struts in first. While they're semi-dry, so glue them in flat like that, and then as they're drying, pull them out a bit so you can slot this in, and then inevitably push it back up, and then try and get it in the middle somewhere, and then glue the wheels on, and then glue the tail skid on after that. And that is it. That's the F2B done. We'll come back to the paint scheme in a minute. The Fokker Triplane. Ooh, it tells you need to paint his body up in Humber 29, Matte Earth, or Dark Earth. Doesn't tell you what you need to paint the fuselage up in. So, glue the pilot onto the peg. Early kit, leave it alone. And glue the two sides of the fuselage together and then onto the lower wing. Then glue the two machine guns onto the middle wing. Put the outer two struts through. And then glue the outer struts and the middle wing to the lower wing and the fuselage. Don't tell you, but that does fit there. When that's dry, glue the inner struts to the upper wing and the upper wing to the outer struts as well. Glue on the tailplane. If you want spinny propeller, push this peg through the engine and glue it to the propeller. Again, if you do not care for spinny propeller, glue that to that to that. Undercarriage. Put on these these are on the end so you don't dig your wings into the mud. Then glue the two struts from the undercarriage. Glue that bit on, and then the wings onto that. Oh, and the tail skid. Remember the tail skid. And that is it. So, because Wicktoffen plane is going to be so easy, so satin red, wood, natural wood for the propeller, metal for the metallic bits, that's the engine and the machine guns, and then black for the wheels. Then put the decals on. That's it. Okie dokie. Bristol fighter, as you can see, 3 more paints on top of the 4. So natural wood, looks like a different natural wood actually. So 110 and, oh no, it's 110 again, just different shade. So true or Royal Flying Corps colours. Pretty much olive drab for the entirety of the fuselage and wings. A cream or linen at times for the undersurface, so just for the wings and inside the cockpit. Metal, wood and black for the tyres. And then the decals on those places. Ooh, but I have just noticed the 13 here, and more accurately here, it goes under the, it is the exhaust as well, it goes under the exhaust. Have fun with that one. Other than that, yeah, quite, okay, it's basic compared to some of the other First World War planes I've seen, but Royal Flying Corps, yeah, it's pretty standard. Okay. Let's see what the next title card says. Right, sprue time. So let's do this in reverse this time. Let's have a look at the triplane and all 2 sprues of it. So let's start off with the DD sprue first. So we have the upper wing. Yep, the upper wing is about 10 centimeters long. It's not a big plane, this thing. The upper surface isn't too bad. So you get all the raised spars there, so that's good. All the ejection pin marks. Yeah, man. There we go. So you got all the ejection pin marks. Yay. All going to be visible. Well, except for maybe these 4 because they're underneath, but okay. Next sprue. Fuselage of the plane. Smooth. The rudder's got a bit of detail to it. Interior. Non-existent. Middle wing. Again, big ejection pin marks bang across the wings. Oh, and because that's going to be a pain to sort out. That's the lower wing. Okay, that's the top side of the lower wing, and that's the underside of the lower wing. Again, but other than that, that's all quite nice. The detail there is quite nice. Propeller looks a little flimsy. In fact, it actually looks like this one's bent over this way a bit. Front cowling, not too bad, though you're literally stuck with the engine just like that. And do you want to see the rest of the engine? Sorry. Yeah, the engine's stuck like this. If you want to see the rest of it, yeah, there's no engine. Struts not too bad. The wheels, machine guns are very basic. Right, pilot. Let's have a look at the jelly baby. Whoop. No. That looks like a standard World War II pilot. That's a life preserver there. That's the Mae West. Nah. Not too bad, but completely wrong setting. Yep. Okie dokie. Interesting. Let's have a look at the Bristol fighter, the Biff. So, the lower wing that has the ejection pin marks on the top this time. Yay. 4 centralised struts, holes for the landing gear to go through. Fabric surface isn't too bad. Ailerons not too bad either. They're good. Upper wing. The top side of the upper wing's very nice. The underside, load of ejection pin marks again. Okay, that's quite nice. Let's do the fuselage next. So, oh, the threadwork going down the side. That's very nice. It's very nice. Fabric again, quite nice. The rudders. There is a very thin, what would technically call panel line there. I know it's not a panel line, but it's the very thin distinction between rudder and vertical stabilizer. Interior detail, there is none. Overall, quite nice. And this one, propeller, actually looks quite decent, quite chunky. It's a chunky propeller, this one. Wow. Horizontal stabilizer is quite nice. Landing gear struts, bit basic. Wheels basic. Wood. Machine gun number 1 or number 2? It's definitely machine gun there. That's probably the observer machine gun. In fact, I don't recall seeing the machine gun to go on the fuselage on this kit. That's no. Doesn't look right. Exhaust stubs, or the exhaust. Not too bad. Probably have to try and get them the right way round. Go on then. Oh, sorry. Ugh, very rounded. I don't know if that's supposed to be like slats or something, but very, very rounded, very used. See, these are First World War pilots. You can see the... Whoops, come on. You can see he's got a coat that comes all the way to the side, and if I flip it over to this one, yeah, you can see he's got the goggles hiding down here, and he's got his coat open. See, that's the First World War uniform for pilots. None of this life preservers, you don't get that. Okie dokie. And that's literally it. I thought the instructions didn't take that long. Right, let me box all this lot back up again, and my final thoughts. Right, my final thoughts. It's nice to see some First World War planes for a change. Especially a Biff in 72nd scale. I've not seen one of those for ages. Not since BTs was a thing. But let's do this with the what I think the skill level, the interior and exterior detail for these will be. So I will do both at the same time. So as it says Fokker DR1 on the left here, I will keep that to the left. And as it says Bristol on the right, I will keep their score on the right. So, skill level. 1 to 5, 1 being easy, 1 being beginner, 2 being easy, 3 being intermediate, 4 being advanced, and 5 being master. For the triplane, I think that's a skill level 2. It's a fairly... It's going to be fairly easy because you don't really have a lot of struts to mess around with, and it's only going to be these middle 2. But if you got... This is just what I did, which is... Put the middle one, the outer strut in the middle wing, and then glue it to the lower wing. Then when you glue the outer wing, the upper wing on top, and then put these inner struts in, it should, the infamous should, all line up. And then it's only the landing gear to worry about. But I don't feel that's any more complicated than any other Airfix kit, which would be like I would say a skill level 2. So yeah, that's not too bad. The Biff. I'm going to say that's going to be a skill level 3. Which would match Airfix saying this is skill level 2. It's going to be those struts that's the problem. You've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to go through to get the upper and lower wings assembled. And then on top of that, you've also got the undercarriage that goes straight through the lower wing to connect to the fuselage. That being the hardest part of that build to do. So yeah, I would say skill level 3 for the Biff and 2 for the DR1. Interior detail. Now, like I mentioned in the Bristol Buffalo video, I do not count or cannot count the pilots. Simply because not every kit comes with a pilot, so it would be unfair to judge them. Be -1 for the DR1 anyway, because it's the wrong period. So, interior detail. Was there a control column? No. Was there an instrument panel? No. Is there any form of detail on the inside, like any of those, the framework? No. Was there a seat? No. I'm going to have to give this a 0. I think it's the first ever 0 I've given on this channel. It's the age of the kit, kind of need to be expected, but for interior detail, it's a flat 0. There is no interior detail for these. Exterior detail. But again, DR1 first. The machine guns have got the shape right. And at least you have the spars going down the wings. You can see that. As well as the ailerons, horizontal stabilizer. They're nice. But I'm going to bring on the Red Baron I've already made. This is a Reveal kit, which, yeah, a bit dusty again. Struts under the tail surface there. I don't think we're in this kit. There's holes for all the control columns, cables to go through. All here. That wasn't in the kit. Step ladder. Or step to get on into the plane. I don't think I saw that there. Machine guns look right. This even has a full cockpit inside it. Okay, this is a much newer kit. I'll put the date in the corner to say when this one was manufactured. But detail-wise, exterior, it's going to be a generous 2.5. Even the engine just like, didn't quite look right. So yeah, I'm going to have to go 2.5 with the triplane. Bristol Fighter, on the other hand, the Biff. Ooh. You've got all the stitch work running down the side of the fuselage. You've got all the wing spars and struts visible through the canvas. That is nice. The Lewis machine gun doesn't look right. I might be, say, more generous with it. Partly because I also haven't already built a Fokker Triplane. Well, I've built a Fokker Triplane. I've not already built a Bristol Fighter. But I think I'm going to have to... This thing shows a windscreen there. That's not in the kit, definitely. Anyway, I might give it a bit more generosity. I think I might say a 3.5. The engine cowling at the front here didn't look right. It was well, the mould clearly was well used. There's no distinct cut off line. So these all look like armoured plates just in case you shoot at the front and it just knocks the bullet upwards to avoid the engine. Those are all quite smooth. The machine gun wasn't quite right. Some of these extra bits, okay, probably be easier to do that with wire. But they were missing. So I feel like three and a half. That's going to be a generous 3.5, mind you. The exhaust could definitely be better. They count at the front here, and definitely the machine gun. And then that'll bump the score right up. But other than that, not a bad plane. So we got a grand total of 2.5 and 3.5. If you like the video, please hit that like button. Comment below, have you made these two before? Is there any traps to look out for? Is there an easier way of putting the upper and lower wings together on biplanes? Share this video with your friends, get the channel out there, and subscribe for more. I will see you on the next one. Thanks, bye.